You know, before I start my timer, there's a mistake that I need to correct. I kind of took it for granted that people knew who I was because I was posting this to my website and my YouTube and my section of and my fan blog at Channel Awesome. Channel Awesome's website. I'm not a member of Channel Awesome, but they have this fan blog where anybody can post, and I'm posting these there. Some of you coming in from the Art Soundoff Challenge probably don't know who I am, so let me take a quick moment to introduce myself. My name is Troy Ackerman. My pen name is Troy A. My screen name is Shadowingtronics, and my Kryptonian name is Wada L. So, I've been doing my website, BW Media Spotlight, since 2008. As I said in the first video, I've been doing some kind of comic thing since middle school. Only recently started publishing stuff. I had a Sprite comic that failed. I may go back into that as this challenge goes on. And I've been otherwise been doing my weekly comic strip, Jake and Leon, since 2010. And I've been doing 2010, 2009, something like that. Yeah, it had to be 2009 because I just finished that anniversary, and then my website's anniversary comes up this month. Yeah, so since 2009, I've been doing a comic strip. In 2010 is when I started videos. Okay, and I also have done an occasional joke bit called Captain PSA, Public Service Announcer, which is what would PSA comics be like in a world of superheroes and magic and aliens and all that. And then, of course, my downloadable Christmas comic, Captain Yuletide, in which a different elf is chosen every year with the power to save Christmas, alongside Bryce the Green-Nosed Reindeer. Yeah. So I'm probably the least accomplished of everybody taking part in this challenge, but it's not like I'm completely ignorant of comic creation. My website is mostly a critique of the art of storytelling. A lot of time includes comics, including daily comic reviews. And that will bring me to my topic for today. Okay, so one of the reasons that I have a number of reasons why I do my website and I do do stuff as a critic. The reason that connects to this project, to the Art Soundoff Challenge, is that I want to become a better storyteller. And by looking at other people's work, it helps me to get an idea of what I need to learn in order to become a better writer and a better artist. And believe me, I have a lot to learn when it comes to being a better artist. Perspective, shading, lifelike poses, these are the three things that I know I have to work on, and maybe others. But I think it's a good idea to kind of look at other people's work from a critical perspective, to look at what they got right and what they got wrong. And that includes looking at really good art pieces and seeing what they did right, but also look at what they might have gotten wrong, the things to avoid that might have made good even better. And there's some artists that can be hard to do. Good luck finding that in a George Perez piece. But I think it's a good idea. I think it's also a good idea to take and look at things that are horrible, and then seeing, but did they do anything right? Was there an idea or a concept that they come up with, or the artist came up with, that maybe might be something to look at when you're doing your own things? Because very, very seldom since I've been doing interviews have I found something that was so horrible that I couldn't find a single positive thing to say about it, or something that was so good that I couldn't find anything wrong with it. Because nothing is really perfect. And a lot of critiquing as well is a matter of taste. Because as a critic, realistically, my opinion is opinion, or Leonard Maltin's opinion, or Chris Sims' opinion, or Doug Walker's opinion. Good luck. Congratulations if you know all three of those names. they really don't, not really that much different from your opinion. The big difference is, sorry, I got a bit of some sinus issues tonight. The big difference is that we're better at articulating. It's our passion to examine and sort of tear apart uh, the things that we review and look at and see what's good and bad about it. And some of us are even creators. Doug Walker is a movie maker. Um, Chris Sims has done a number of comics, and he is more accomplished in comics than I am. Um, his markers have been mostly digital, but he has created it. So, and of course, I have the comics that I've done over the years, including some stuff that's actually been online. I've even had a Sprite comic at one point. So my opinion may not be, is more a case of I'm more driven to look into it, to see the nooks and crannies, to look at things maybe other people didn't look past the surface. And sometimes I'll see something that I don't like, but I will admit is well done. Something that I really enjoyed, I gotta admit it's stupid as all heck, because there's a difference between something being good or bad and whether or not you like or hate it. Something I've said since my first article. But I think that by looking at other people's works through this critical lens, I see what they did right and wrong, and I can take those and put that toward my own work. Sort of and step back and say, okay, am I getting right anything that they did right? And am I falling into the same pitfalls as they may have done, or am I making my own mistakes, or maybe making my own successes? Because if I thought myself was god awful, you wouldn't be seeing any of it. Believe me, some of my really old stuff you'll never see. You'll never see unless you happen to be over here and I happen to feel like showing you stuff. Otherwise, I probably won't post it online because it's not very good. But the stuff that I'm doing now probably is not the best stuff on the internet. I don't think it's the worst stuff that's out there, and it does show that I've improved. You look at my first Jake and Leon strip and my latest Jake and Leon strip. In fact, I recently, every anniversary, and that was the last week, I post a list of the strips that I thought were the best that I did that year. And then at the end, I post my first ever strip. And my first ever strip, especially compared to what I do now, which is still not that great, but compared to what I do now, my first strip was horrible. Wasn't, I mean, the joke was okay. Might have worked better with the proper context, but it was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay. But compared to what I do now, I'm getting better. And that's kind of things what I do with this strip is it's kind of art practice. It's also another way to do commentary or parody, or just sometimes I have a interesting little gag that I want to put out there. But for the most part, these are original ideas. Or not original ideas, what I was going to say. For the most part, I have improved since I first started doing this thing, and that's always good to see. So not only be critical of other people, go back to your old works. See what your early shit. I know some people are afraid to look at their old shit like, oh no, not that. I don't want to see that again. But do it. Go back, look through some of your old stuff. See some of the stuff that you did right and wrong back then. Compare what you do right and wrong now. Look at it through the eye of a critic. But a critic is not just somebody who bashes somebody else's work. That's a troll. A critic looks objectively at a work through the lens of their own preferences, granted, and sees, hey, I did something good back then, or here's something terrible that I'm still doing. I need to fix this. And you may find something that you did before you may want to bring back or reference or do a new way, but because it was still a good concept. So, don't throw away. I'll get into another thing about not throwing away things that you've done before. But I think you should really look at the stuff you've done critically and say, not just from your own biases and your own concerns that it was not as good as you do now. It'll never be as good as you do now. Things you do now will not be as good as what you do later, hopefully. But look back at your old work through a critical eye. Look at other people's work through a critical eye. See what is done right and wrong in your eyes, and see how you can translate that into your own work. So kind of be a critic yourself, because I'm hoping that my critic skills will make me a better storyteller down the line. And I am almost out of time here, and a little over time here, and the counter's coming down. That's all I have to say anyway. So we will see you at the next Start Challenge. Happy storytelling.